Something I never fully grasped for a long time was that it doesn't have to be perfect, that putting myself on the highest expectation list every single day while never meeting any of them was actually impossible and will forever be impossible. And it's not because you can't meet those expectations, but because of everything that you're putting into them. Every single thing that you're sitting there deciding that this is where your value stays. This is where your value is shown. It's in these actions that you do. It's in how much you can produce for something else, for someone else, for $1, for how your body looks, you know? There's so many different things like that we all put ourselves on a scale for, right? Like, how well are we doing from here to there? Like, how behind are we? What goal are we not meeting? And it's like, this is different from having discipline. This is different from having goals for ourselves. Like, this is what we can probably categorize as goals, or something like, oh, I'm just trying to I'm trying to have that for myself, trying to be disciplined, I'm trying to do this. And we cover that up instead of letting ourselves be human, because it's almost like we get taught, especially in this day and age, we get stuck in these loops because we don't allow ourselves to sit and have a clean slate every single day. And when you give yourself a clean slate, when you give yourself that ability to come back, to feel again, to actually tune in to what your body wants, what your body needs, what you're meant to be feeling, or what it's really that you're craving when you're looking at this list of things that you have to get done that never does. These high expectations, like, what is it really fueling? Are you looking for safety? Are you looking for love? Are you looking for acceptance, validation? What is it? Maybe it's all of the above, you know? But if you don't allow yourself to reset, if you don't allow yourself to relieve yourself from the pressure of everything that is piled up, that has truly just been over and over and over again, and it's become like, it used to be a list this small, that it's just become like a stack of papers. It's just become a stack of, you're not doing enough, you're never enough, you're not working hard enough, everyone else around you is able to do it, why can't you? And it's because life is not a one size fits all. And it's because every single thing, like, there's a reason why there's so many different people on this earth, because there's so many different perspectives, and like, we will end up finding categories of like things that do work for us, that some people show us, but it might not be every single thing that person does, because we're all different. But this is where it goes into, sharing ourselves, sharing who we are, because when you share who you are and you give yourself a clean slate, something to really allow yourself to flourish in different ways without being so rigid, not sitting there trying to give yourself such a small, tiny, minuscule little box of what you're supposed to fit into, or what you're supposed to do, what you're supposed to look like, what you're supposed to act like as a significant other, as a mom, as a dad, as a parent, as a sibling, as a whatever, at your corporate job, your whatever worker you are, whatever it is, your business, what kind of way it has to go. When you put yourself in such a small box of what it has to look like, it doesn't give yourself or anything any kind of room to grow or happen in different ways, because you're rejecting the idea of anything looking any other different way, because you're becoming so rigid with it, so closed-minded with it. And this isn't meant to hurt you or attack you or make you feel like you're doing anything wrong. It just means that you're following a system that was never meant for you. And it was meant for a system. It was meant for things that were not alive. It was meant for a formula that didn't calculate for emotions or different ways of being or different growing up, different childhoods, different nervous systems, different experiences of life. Like, we are so versatile. Human beings are so versatile, and we all have different gifts and advantages and things that we're better at and things that we're not so good at. Like, some people are good at math and some people are good at English and writing. And that's just how it goes. Sometimes there's people that do both. Sometimes there's people that don't do either, and they're just great at science or some shit. You know what I mean? Like, this is what I'm trying to say. You can't put yourself on a rigid scale or compare yourself to another, because it does not give you the opportunity to grow or see who you really are or where you thrive or what's attracting you or what you're wanting to attract in this life. Because if you were to still focus on that and not give yourself the open slate every single day, a clean slate, not looking from yesterday's mistakes or what you didn't fall, like what you fell from, right? Like where you didn't end up matching up from, where you didn't get to the goal, whatever it is. You didn't check off that thing on the list. Did you really not? Or was there strides? Or was there little things that you did that you didn't do the day before? Or did you actually get up today? Or did you actually floss when you have never flossed that whole week? Like, maybe you remember to do something that you completely forgot to do for years of your life, months of your life. Maybe you started a new routine. Maybe you did little things. There's such slight things that don't have to be so huge, so groundbreaking, because the seeds is what matters. Seeds matter more than huge, gigantic shifts that you cannot hold or stabilize. And when you give yourself the opportunity to wake up every day as a literal fresh day, no expectations, the only thing that you set for yourself is that you try, is that you let yourself be, that you let yourself experience life, be in the moment, let life guide you. Let yourself do whatever you have to do, the human things like errands, maybe go to work, see family members, pick up that, pick up this, whatever it is. Allow life to lead you. Let your inner inspiration, inner nudges guide you. Let your things that when you get inspired by something or you want to look around in a store because you have the time to do it. You're not wasting anything. Your time is not to be wasted. You're spending it in a way that matters at all times. Even if it's in silence in your room for 3 hours straight. You're sitting there being with yourself, and that matters. It matters because you're learning yourself. You're letting yourself breathe and exhale, and you're not putting yourself on a grand scale against other people. Instead, you're just doing it day to day. You're not even comparing from yesterday. You're just showing yourself that it's okay, that we are planting seeds. We are doing things one step at a time. One thing here, one thing there. We're not ambushing ourselves. Because the more you ambush yourself, the easier it is for you to feel like, fuck it. I'm going to crumble, fall apart, and not know how to get back up. Because I realized, I thought I couldn't get back up for such a long time. Because I had those rigid scale, rigid comparison, rigid goals that I had to reach. And when I didn't every single day, it literally was like, I'm a fucking failure. What's the point? What's the point? Why would I sit here trying when I can't even do X, Y, and Z? Because you put so much pressure. It's like, imagine if you let a pressure cooker sit there for ever and ever and ever and ever. It's gonna pop eventually. That pressure will build up to the point where it's gonna pop. It's gonna fucking explode. What do you think that does to your mind after years and years and years of doing that? You're having burnout. You're not experiencing life the way you deserve to be. This is exactly why I feel called for this. Because even when I have the hardest days, even when I feel like I don't know how I'm gonna get back up, I know it's still gonna happen. Even though I can let myself have those feelings, I know I'm still gonna get back up. I know I'm still always supported because I decided for myself that I don't have to be perfect. Whatever you think perfect is, because I already am perfect. How you are made. You were specifically made to have these struggles, these lessons, these experiences in your life. You were perfectly made. There was no accidents. There was no accidents. God doesn't make accidents. You know what I'm saying? Source does not make accidents. There's things that are meant to be experienced and grown from. You are meant to grow from these things, learn from them, see your beliefs and your bias as a way from you to form your own opinion, your own interest, your own way of being. Because this is how you show other people, how you inspire others. You will create such a beautiful life for yourself in the exact body you're in the exact person you are. There's absolutely nothing you have to truly change. You just have to keep finding and looking for your real self, because it is underneath the pile of shame, and I want to say disgust. Maybe there's just a distaste for yourself because you think that you can't reach these goals, when in reality you can, because you were taught that you had to have it look a certain way when it never did. Those rules were made up by a society that were putting, I guess, like a vision or an external picture of what things should look like. When in reality, if you look behind those pictures and you see what's going on in everyone's life, everyone has their own struggles. Everyone has their own hurt, their own pain, their own way of life, their own bias. And nobody is picture perfect. It is all just a fake belief system. That's just, to think that there is something like so perfect in this world is untrue, because we all go through all the same emotions. We all experience so much in this life. To try and put a label on a one size fits all, it makes no sense. It'll never be that way. And you need to give yourself the grace that you deserve. It absolutely has nothing to do with your value when you don't hit a certain amount of money, when you don't look a certain way, when you don't feel like you reached the place you wanted to be at by this certain age. It just means that there's something even better waiting for you at this next age, at this next moment, this next month, this next 3 months. Like, there's a reason for everything. There's something you had to learn or see first before you could even let it be held in your life. Because imagine if you did get it when you had all that pressure. Then you would think you would have to continue life in that pressure and that sense of anxiety at all times. Why would you want to live like that? Some people just live like that and decide like that's just the way of life, and they don't know how to relax. They don't know how to sit still. They don't know how to be with themselves. They may not even know themselves. You're being given the opportunity to know yourself, and it's being urged. It's being broadcasted. It's being broadcasted through me, through so much of this world is finally seeing the truth. I think it's time you do now. I feel like it's this point in the experience where you have to really see it. At this point, you have to see it. And I'm not going to sit here and say you're forced to do anything, because you're not forced to do anything in this life. Take life as it comes, man. And it's truly just letting it seep in, really. Like, even if you have to watch this video a couple times over to understand everything that I'm saying, just take a fucking breath, or figure out a way that you can decompress. It doesn't have to be perfect. It has to be perfect for you, not in someone else's made up world, okay?